the way I look. Don't judge a book by its cover. I'm not much of a man by the light of day, but by night I'm one hell of a lover. I'm just a sweet transvestite from transsexual Transylvania.
So, as you may have noted from theme music on this vlog, yesterday we watched the Rocky Horror Picture Show, my first time seeing it, and it got me thinking about the sweetness of transvestites and transsexuality within places including but not limited to Transylvania. So, let's get down to the business of transsexual rights and the inanity of the gender binary, shall we? So, you want to start or should I?
You start.
Alright, so one of the odd things about our society is that we have very rigid boxes that we put around gender. The rigidity gradually is eroded, but it still certainly exists. You can see this, first of all, with, gay rights, that somehow it's okay for me to kiss my girlfriend, but it would be inappropriate, according to many, for me to kiss a man. Unfortunately, I don't have a male to do the same demonstration with here, but just imagine it if you feel inclined. Anyway, so that's one manifestation of the perverse nature of gender roles, distorting what we deem perverse. The same is true when it comes to what one can wear. It is, appropriate for me to be wearing this t-shirt. It would not be appropriate if I was wearing a corset and my usual skirt. I still do that at school around the streets of Salt Lake.
Whereas it is perfectly appropriate for women to wear pants, for some odd reason.
Well, it wasn't for some time.
No, but it is now.
It is now. The reason, of course, is that there's been an organized feminist movement that fought for years to wear down the inanity and idiocy of gender roles for women on these matters because they were just so restricted. Whereas there's very much less of a movement for this because men are largely kept in line not by the oppression of an outside group, but by their own homosociality and general attempts to look manly. We want to be manly men. Lumberjacks! We're lumberjacks and we're okay, and we don't dress in women's clothing and hang around in bars. Rah! There's this will to be manly that really restricts what men are willing to do, so it's much more self-regulating and there's much less of a movement to attempt to break down social norms of what is and is not manly. I'm an island of that sort of movement. I wear skirts to school. I've emboldened several other people in my class to do so, which I think is pretty cool. And I do so around the streets of Salt Lake City, which you may remember as the city which
Mormons.
financed Prop 8. Yes,
Mormons. Everywhere.
All the time. It's fun. What I love is, when I'm wearing a skirt and my Mormon friends and I are getting on just fine because, Mormons are nice people generally. So that's always fun. But I think if I wore it in the Temple Square, I'd probably get kicked out.
Yeah. Probably. That might not be the best plan in the world.
But of course, even I operate within the realm of cisgendered privilege because I'm not transsexual by any means. And there are those who are transsexual, and there's an entire distortion of the language regarding them. Because unless they get an operation, they cannot legally register as the gender they identify as.
Well, and you also have the fact that there are people who identify as neither gender or somewhere in between, and any number of just infinite other gender identifications that, because of the way the gender system in our country works, just don't fit.
Yeah, exactly.
According to most of society.
I personally, I sign as male on things just because that's easier than putting, hey, fuck gender. But, my general attitude is that I'm anatomically male, and I function as all over the place, mostly presenting myself as a cisgendered male. And so you can't have that kind of nuance in a binary system. You just have man, woman, penis, hole, insert, Adam, Eve, temptress, big, strong patriarch dude who you... yeah, I know. It's pretty boring, isn't it, having two options? So,
extremely.
But such is gender dichotomy. And...
Not a fun time.
Not particularly fun.
No.
No, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
But, of course, what's really weird with how people approach transsexuality, of course, is they accuse it largely of being deception. There was this one politician in, I think it was Michigan, running for, like, attorney general, who said they shouldn't be able, even if they got operations, to change their driver's license, because that would be dishonest. They are the gender they were born as anatomically, and nothing more. Don't said it that way. Raw.
That is my view on the matters.
Yeah. Our economy has a tendency to promote that sort of thing. So that's really just the extent of it. It's stupid.
It needs to go away, but that's probably not going to happen anytime soon.
Unfortunately, but there are a variety of ways you can whittle it down.
Bit by bit.
Dress outside gender dichotomy as often as possible in whichever way you're comfortable. Be who
What's
you are.
the unfortunate thing about it being more acceptable for women to dress?
It's harder to do that.
It's harder to do that because it's normal to walk down the street in a t-shirt and a pair of jeans.
I know. Don't you just hate being liberated already? In that respect? But, I mean, in your case, you know, there's the act outside of the... In the case of women, you can act outside of the dichotomy on what actions are acceptable.
Yeah.
Go and build a robot and, you know, do things that are...
Work construction for 12 years like my mother.
Exactly. And then, you know, there's the slut-stud dichotomy, you know, don't slut-shame other women, don't accuse them of being whores or sluts when they happen to...
Or other males. Men can be whores.
That's true, but there's not the same stigma. This is
No.
about gender dichotomy, and
True.
generally when men do that sort of thing, they're deemed studs. It's like, oh, you hit it with her. Yeah. You're doing well, man. Yeah. Well, let me buy you a beer. Then we'll go watch football and wrestle. I have such admiration for guys who roll around on the floor with other guys, wearing tights, the required uniform. And, yeah. So. Basically, I suppose we can sum it up with fuck gender dichotomy, because
Definitely.
I want a society where we accept the sweet transvestites, and whether they're whether they're transsexuals or not, or whether they're from Transylvania or not.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So that's basically it. I wish I was wearing my skirt right now so I could have a cool dance sequence.